So for a while, I've heard the story about Priscilla supposedly mocking Elvis when he was wearing this snowmobile type outfit. And I finally came across the actual story, so I just want to retell it to you. There's not much to it, but this is from the book Child Bride. I've been reading off and on for a little while, and I'm going to tell it to you as it is written in this book. Now, Priscilla disagrees with a lot of the things in this book, but just like all Elvis books that I read, maybe you don't know, unless there's specific dates that we can mark and be like, oh yeah, Madison Square Garden, June 1972, stuff like that. You may not know exactly. You got a few people who agree and disagree with things, but me, I just take it basically for entertainment purposes. Now, I particularly believe this story that was in it just because I have the people in Elvis's life that I like, and I have the people that Elvis's life that I dislike. So in this book, author tells the story of the last time that Elvis actually saw Priscilla, or one of the last times. And Priscilla was telling the story to Mike Edwards, a guy who she was dating or would have been dating in the later 70s.
So I just want to stop the video for a second and add this point. It seems from Priscilla's story that this took place in summertime 1977. And as you watch the video, it seems as though facts point to this actually happening in 1976. You'll see what I'm saying.
So she supposedly tells Mike Elvis was just recording all night in the studios, and then he came over to her house, the Summit House, and he kind of makes like this last pitch effort to get back with her. And this, I believe it's like 1977, and he's wearing this big suit, and she says his hair was all greasy, and maybe he was trying to be romantic or something, she says, and she knew right then, no, it's definitely over. And she says, Elvis, I can't get back with you. No, it's not going to happen. But this is where the actual story comes in.
Even though you hurt me like nobody else could ever do.
So a girl that Joe Esposito was dating, whose name was Shirley, says that that's not the story. That's not what happened at all. And she tells this story that, I tend to believe, and I'm going to tell it to you right here. So she says that Elvis had just bought a Ferrari, and he wanted to, it was like cold. They had just been snowmobiling, but Elvis wanted to take this Ferrari over to Priscilla's house so he could show Lisa his new car. Well, I guess Lisa was in bed, but Priscilla came down and was talking to Elvis, and she says she doesn't remember who all came along for that little trip in the Ferrari, but Joe Esposito's girlfriend was there, and she's the one telling the story, and she says this isn't how it happened. This is what happened. Priscilla did come down, and Elvis was like being very gentlemanly and just being very sweet and talking about something serious, and Elvis, like I said, they just got done snowmobiling, so Elvis is bundled up in this big snowmobile type suit. And she says that, like, Priscilla kept, when Elvis was talking, she would kind of like snicker to people and make fun of how Elvis looked in this suit. She said it didn't make that big of an impact to her at the time, but as she thought back on it, it really irked her how Elvis was being like so sweet and so kind. And she just kept like turning her head and like laughing at Elvis, how he looked. And I can really picture this in my head. I particularly believe it's true just because I feel like, without getting into great detail again, I feel like Priscilla she was always pretty cold toward Elvis. I feel like she looked at Elvis as more the name, the legend, the status. I don't feel like she really genuinely deep down loved Elvis. I think Elvis definitely had his flaws, and I think Elvis was a good, tender-hearted person. I don't get the same vibes from Priscilla, so I wanted to just retell this brief story. Not much to it, but that is actually, according to this book, how it went down, how Priscilla was mocking Elvis for wearing this big jumpsuit, and, she felt, Joe Esposito's girlfriend Shirley felt that Elvis was being disrespected.
I would never